Hello and welcome to your channel, Clear Waters. Tonight, in this live stream, we're going to be talking about if God is real, so and so. Again, welcome to this channel, Clear Waters. I'm very happy for anybody out there listening and watching. Even if you're not listening or watching, I'm still happy. So like always, I'm gonna check my live stream. I like to do this just to make sure I'm not doing a live stream in vain or with problems with the audio or video like I've done before. So I'm just checking real quick. So like always, I'm gonna check. Yes. The live stream is good. Audio is good. And we're gonna check on the Discord link. Make sure it's up and running. Beautiful. Oh, we have a different link. We gotta take care of this. So in case someone wants to call and have a conversation, respectful conversation, there's the link on your screen at the bottom. I'm also gonna put it on the chat just so you can copy paste it. There's the link. Okay, you can ask questions or call in to have a conversation. So there it is. That's the link. Let's pin that message. Make sure that if you want to ask me a question, you can write it on the chat, or you are more than welcome to call me and have a conversation, not necessarily about God or the many problems of believing in a God. You can call me for whatever you want, as long as it is a respectful conversation. I'll be happy to talk to you. So let's lower the volume of the music because I cannot concentrate very well. So there it is. Fábrica de Nerdolas. Hello and welcome to your channel, Clear Waters. This is gonna be so much fun talking about the many problems we have as humans believing in gods. But I'm open to have conversations about anything that you would like. For example, problems in your country. You have a personal problem, maybe I can give you a different perspective. But if not, we can talk about any of the current available gods and the many problems we have as humans believing in these gods, especially the violent ones. Not very good. So at the top it says live conversation, but if you're interested in having a debate about any of the available gods right now, we can have it. I'm kind of old-fashioned in regards to debates, because if the God is real, the God that you believe in is real, we shouldn't be having a debate. Don't you think so? So, a few nights ago, on one of my live streams, I have a very nice conversation with a gentleman. It was very fruitful. And I think whoever listened to that conversation probably got something good out of it, hopefully. But if you believe in the God of the Bible, I would like to know what for? What benefits are you getting from believing in one of these gods from one of these books, especially the Bible? The book talks about a God that is supposed to be all loving and merciful, but in reality is violent and bloody. So I always interested in why people believe in this type of gods. I don't know what's in the violence or the sacrifices, or maybe the spirits or ghosts, or maybe the demons, devils. I don't know. Maybe people like drama in their lives and they want to bring one of these gods in their life to create some drama. I need the God. I need my morals from God. I get a little bit tired sometimes talking about the or making jokes about these gods. But anyways, if you believe in a God right now, I'm gonna offer you a better God. A real God, not the pagan God that you believe in right now. I'm talking about a real God. I can present it to you. I know it's gonna make a huge difference in your life, because this God is way better than yours or the one that you believe in. With the God that I can offer you, you don't have to believe. With the God of the Bible, the only thing you have is a book and a belief. You don't have anything else. So with this God that I'm talking about, you don't have to jump through hoops. It's real unconditional love, not like the God of the Bible. Very conditional. You better love the God or pay the price. Yep. So up until now, I always have my mic open for anybody that wants to share with me and whoever is listening to this live stream why in the world you believe that a character in a book is real. I'm talking about the character named God in one of those God books is real. Please, if you're gonna call me very respectfully to have a conversation, please just have one little request. No preaching, please. I think we're a little bit grown up, to be trying to school me about an invisible God, that is watching you. Come on. I think we're not children. I'm not a church goer. So no preaching to me, please. Just tell me, Javier, I believe in the God of the Bible because so and so and so. And maybe many people can hear your great reason for believing that this God is real. And maybe you can help people to convert to God. Maybe God can get some more customers. Yesterday, I made a live stream talking about God needing your help because God is losing control of humanity and God needs your help. If you didn't watch that live stream, man, that was an interesting one. God needs your help. So today, if God is real, Why are we having debates about it? Isn't that interesting? I think I'm a respectful human being. I like to analyze things. I like to understand things. And if I tell you that I don't think that the God mentioned in the Bible is real, don't you wonder why I'm coming to that conclusion when you have archaeological evidence that the God is real, when you have irrefutable proof that the God is real? How come I don't buy it? Because I'm against God? Because I'm upset at God? Maybe the Catholic Church did something to me and I'm upset with the Catholic Church. These conversations get old. So, man, do you imagine a God, a powerful God? Oh, man, power. Nowhere to be seen. There's something about God that is silent. You can only see him when you no longer have eyes because you're dead. That's kind of weird. You can only see God when you cannot see anymore. I was sharing with the person that I was having this call a few days ago. I was telling that person, that gentleman, Dad, his God is not God. His God is what he is feeling. That's why the God feels real. Because you need an important aspect as a human being in order to feel the God. And that's feel. Oh man, that word has power. Feel. God. Feel. God. But feel. We're talking about something extremely powerful. Feel will make you do things that you never in your life think that you're capable of doing. You will do unimaginable things in your life because of feel. F-E-E-L. Actually, the only reason that you got off the bed this morning was because of feel, not because of God. You got out of that situation where you were a drunken person, you were using drugs, not because of the God, because of the feel. Feel gave you the energy to have some redirection in your life to take a different path. Phantom X11, man, thank you so much for stopping by. You could be anywhere else. You could be watching cat videos right now, but you are participating in a live stream having a conversation about life and humanity. That tells me right there that most likely you are a very smart person. Phantom X Rise, I take it you are an atheist. Phantom, I'm a human being. If you, through your lenses and the structure that you need in your life to label things in order to try to understand them, you can label me atheist if that makes you feel good. Because not knowing what you have in front of you doesn't make you feel good. Michelle Davis, Guitar Princess. Thank you so much for your comment. Michelle writes, I'm an atheist. Interesting. So you must be killing people and raping people. You have no morals. Michelle, I'm just kidding. Phantom X, right? Fair enough. Just checking. All right, man. Be careful. I could be an atheist, killing people, doing bad things because we have no God morals in our life. We can do bad things. Arr. Maybe the devil is in me. Arr, I'm going to deceive you. If you are not an atheist, you wrote something else here. Phantom writes or asks, what kind of conversations are you looking for? The purpose of this channel, besides making money, which I'm not making at all, I don't think I'm ever going to make money with this channel, is to promote honesty, transparency, and decency by having conversations about problems that we have in humanity right now. And one of the biggest problems we have as humanity is the belief in God. It's a problem. Religion is the best example of normalizing a problem. That's why other people are trying to normalize problems. Trans, LGBT community, you can normalize your mental, emotional problems called believing in God. Then I can normalize my problem and we can leave everybody happy with our problems, thinking that we have no problems. Phantom writes, you could be. I'm not as scared of a guy that is on my screen. Arr, I'm going to scare you. Phantom, I'm just kidding with you. Hopefully you have a good sense of humor, okay? Michelle, don't believe Jesus existed. I have gone to the point that I do not care if Jesus lived or not. I think Jesus is a really bad example for humanity because whatever you do as a human because of your effort, because your change for the better, you corrected a problem. With God, you have to give credit to Jesus and not to you. And that's horrible, especially for kids. So Jesus, no thank you. Phantom X writes, it is the biggest problem? Or asking a question, it is the biggest problem? I don't know. I would agree that religion is a problem. Yeah, I could be wrong, Phantom. But the way I see it is that believing in invisible gods, trying to find solutions to your problems by going to unreasonable sources to try to fix your problem is never really gonna fix anything. It's gonna create more problems than fixing them. Michelle writes, we need more empathy. Good point, Michelle. That's one of the things that God does not want. God wants you in the book paying attention to Jesus and paying attention to God and what He's thinking and doing, but not really trying to help other people with problems. I always say on my live streams that God doesn't like smart people. God doesn't like people asking questions. God wants you in the book and stop asking questions. Don't try to be smart with God, Phantom writes, Granting that Jesus existed is granted granting that Jesus existed is trivial and gets to the more interesting stuff like, was Jesus God? I no longer phantom ask myself that question. I was driving myself crazy when I was a believer. If the Holy Spirit was in me, was I saved? Was Jesus, touching my heart? Right now, I couldn't care less what Jesus is God or not God. Is Jesus in a hospital healing children right now? No? Okay, I don't care about Jesus. He can be God. He could be whatever he wants. He could be flying and surfing in an intergalactic surfboard. I don't care. Don't care about Jesus anymore after he was my Lord and Savior. Not anymore. Because I had the terrible idea of start asking questions and being honest, an honest human being. You cannot believe in a God and be an honest person. They don't go together. That's trying to mix water and oil. So God presents many problems for humanity. And when you introduce a God to a group of people, by default, the God will bring division and conflict. That's a default by any of these invisible God that require your attention and your love. Phantom Man ask. Oh, I don't ask it of myself either. It's just the theists get upset and start talking about Alexander the Great. If I say Jesus didn't exist, it's not worth the effort because 100 billion people have. Phantom, so I take it that you are like a believer, not a believer? Questioning Jesus? If you're having a conversation with someone about Jesus, I don't think their interest is really to find out that if Jesus is God or not, if Jesus was real or not. The person is only interested in the information being validated with the purpose of them feeling good about the information because the information is a source of feel good. So if someone proves that the information is false, incorrect, this is going to threaten the person's feelings and they're not going to like it. And it's going to happen the same thing that happens to me. They start calling me names, not very good names, because it has nothing to do with the God. It has everything to do with the person's feelings. Believing in God has absolutely nothing to do with believing in a God. Believing in God has everything to do with your feelings. Phantom existed. I'm not religious. So I was accurate in my assessment that you seem to be a really smart person, just by the way you write and the questions that you're asking and the comments you're making. So always welcome to be in these live streams. You hear me talk about God and the problematic with God just because I want to improve humanity. I think life is not getting better. Humanity is not moving in a good, positive direction, don't you think? Things are getting tougher. So I don't think any God is gonna come to save us. We, humanity, have to save ourselves. And I have this naive or probably naive idea that I'm gonna wake up people about how about we start being honest with ourselves and start helping other people that need our help instead of trying to focus on an invisible God that is not here with us right now. You know, so all this energy and focus that is going out to the space, to the nothingness for an invisible God, we can focus on other people, starting with prayer. Stop praying for people. How about you take action and start helping other people? No, I'm going to pray for them. No. How about you help them? No, but I don't have time because I got to go to work. So I'll pray for them. All right. On one of the live streams that I made, I think it was on Monday, I was talking about the problematic of praying. If you're going to pray for someone, you're going to pray for me, don't waste your time. If you're going to do nothing for me, don't pray, man. But Phantom, going back to you, not religious, man, awesome. So this live stream is to have conversation with the person that I have a very long conversation a few nights ago. I was telling him that the purpose of the conversation was not to prove that he was wrong and I was right, but purpose of the conversation was to try to move humanity forward by not getting stuck in the belief in a God, but we have to continue moving in life. We have to continue exploring, and we have to continue our discovery. If there is a God out there, I would think that he will cry of proudness if instead of you just saying, oh yes, God, I believe in you, in the comfortableness of your room, I think he will be so happy if you grab a spaceship and fly to the ends of the border of the universe to go meet God. Man, he'll be like, wow, this human, my son, he came all the way to the ends of the universe to find me. That one I love. But no, like, God is my Lord and Savior, and I love you long time. Yeah, come on. I don't think God is stupid. He knows that you're using him. You're using the God for your own feelings. You're trying to make yourself feel good about yourself. So you need something. You know, you need something. Whatever. It's a God. Yeah, I'll use the God. The God feels good? Yeah, I'll use it. The God of the Bible doesn't feel good anymore? Oh, let's go with Allah. Islam. That's what's called switching gods. You gotta shop around for a God, because the God is not important. It's the feel. I can make one entire live stream just talking about one thing, about the most important thing in your entire life. It's not your God. It's not your family. It's not your boyfriend. It's not your girlfriend. It's not your dog. The most important thing in your life, if you are a human being, is what you are feeling right now, because that is the fuel of life. That's what connects heaven to earth. That's what connects your thought to your actions. There's no feel, there's no action. Probably when more people understand what I'm talking about, probably it will go better when I start talking about feel. I remember more than one time someone telling me, Javier, God has nothing to do with feelings. I'm like, man, that's a very respectfully naive comment. There's nothing that doesn't have to do with God. All your feelings have to do with the God. Phantom, I'm in the voice chat. Man, let me go find it. I'll be happy to have a conversation. Here we go. How about now? Try it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, awesome, man. Thank you for joining and calling me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do you would like to talk about or ask me a question?
Um. Well, what what brought you to atheism?
Excuse me. I'm not an atheist.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever you would say. What's your journey? I guess that's what the question is.
I was a believer for many years. I was way too involved in church and religion and God and the Bible until I made the big mistake. What happens to a lot of people taking the Bible, taking it home, and start reading it by yourself. That was my big mistake. But
Hmm.
at this point, I don't believe any of these gods are real. But I'm thinking that there's something out there. I don't know
Oh
if it's
yeah.
good. I don't know if it's good or if it's bad. But there's something more out there because of my experience.
Okay. What experience is it?
I had what some people define as the Holy Spirit going inside of you. I had that experience. But the way I had it, I definitely was not no Holy Spirit. That's what they tell you in the book because they want you to put a label to it. But my experience that I explain in one video, one full video, I talk about from beginning to end what happened to me. And that opened a door for me like, hey, this was way too powerful. I do not understand what happened to me. I gotta find out. But it's not God. This has nothing to do with this God of the Bible. So these experiences of me reading the book and then consequently having this experience, man, no God. This God of the Bible is not real. That's my experience.
Okay. Um. And so kind of now you just think there's something out there, but you don't really know what. Have you looked at what other religions have you looked at, or do you think it's definitely not any of the existing religions?
No, I think that all these religions and all these gods are creations by us humans, probably by some people that have knowledge of probably what happened to me, and they don't want probably people having this knowledge. I don't know for what reason, but I think that the purpose of the book, for example, in the case of the Bible, is to keep your eyes and your head in the book. Don't be asking questions. Don't be looking at the sky. Don't try to find God outside of the Bible. So, in my experience, uh, tells me that the book, we should not be looking for God in there. He's not in the book.
Mm-hmm. Um. So so you think that the religions were, like, at least in part, created to distract us from whatever it is that you touched?
I don't know if it was done, it's just a guess, but I think that you having knowledge of how you work as a human being, the structure, this mechanism, how the mechanics of a human being, if you start understanding how this works, that's gonna put you in a position that you're gonna be competing with people that have this knowledge, and they're not gonna like this. I think some people call this waking up. uh, Once you understand that the God, whichever God that you believe in, has the purpose of creating some polarity in your belief system in order to redirect you your path. If you control someone's emotions, you can control their direction. That's,
Mm-hmm.
politicians know that, entertainers know that, media knows that. Most people don't know it, and they are able to be controlled by this lack of knowledge. And these books don't help.
Hmm. Um. Okay. So do you know? Do you have any ideas of how to like learn more about this thing that you've touched?
You know, I think that's one of the reasons I'm doing live streams, because it's not that I created this or invented this or have a special knowledge about this, but I don't hear people talking about feel. There is something on tap, not understandable about what I call the fuel of life. You need fuel in your uh, life tank, and that fuel is filled up by feel. The moment that you stop feeling anything, either good or bad, in your life, you know, happens to someone, they're gonna start dying, or they feel like ending it. That's what people could do that thing, because there is no more fuel. So if you're in a situation in your life where you're hurting, you have problems, you have not been able to figure it out, you're gonna find sources of feel good, even if you have to go to unreasonable ways. For example, going to the tarot, using drugs, or trying to be, if you're a man, trying to be a woman, whatever produces fuel for your life. And I have not really find anybody that's talking about this. That is the reason I'm having this channel. And even when I don't like the lights, I don't like the camera, I stutter a lot, and my English is not very good. I'm trying to open conversations about why humans feel and where this feel is coming from. This is the real energy of life. It's called feel. Connecting thoughts with your actions is just like connecting heaven to earth. You need a path, you need an energy, you need a carrier, and that is feel.
Hmm.
Hopefully, answer your question.
Sure. Do you think so? So like what you're saying is like, if I understand you correctly, what you really need in your life is like a purpose, and whatever gives you that purpose, that's what you should hold on to. Is that what you're kind of what you're saying?
It's not really finding a purpose, more like finding a source of fuel, whatever it is. So, for example, if I'm feeling bad and I get this pen and I scratch my back with it, man, that feels good. This pen made it, this purpose of make me feel better. I find a source of make me feel good, whatever it is, because the most important thing is not the pen, is how I feel. If I'm letting energy run through my system or it's not running, I cannot allow myself to stop having energy going through myself, because I'm gonna create problems. So that's why people
Hmm.
that have traumas and problems, they block this energy, and you're gonna start having heat resistance, and that energy is not gonna flow very well. And that's where people do not understand what's happening, and they're gonna start trying to find very unreasonable sources of feel good, not knowing that whatever you find is not gonna be able to make you flow that energy better until you try to correct whatever happened. This is a little bit different, more going to another subject, but yeah, feel, man, feel.
Hmm. Okay. But so it sounded like you think there are some sources of this energy that are not legitimate or harmful. Could you give me like maybe do you have any like something you would say, yeah, this is a definitely not a good source for this energy?
I think that I don't think there's such thing as being good energy or bad energy. Is there's only energy that makes you move or no energy, and that energy could have different polarities. For example, it could have a pull action or a push action, same as having a magnet. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, in the morning, you want to wake up in the morning and you don't feel like waking up, but you remember that if you don't go to work, you're gonna get fired and you don't have food, money for food, and that makes you feel horrible. So, what do? You get off of bed and you go to work by push energy. But if you're in the same bed and you open your eyes, you wake up and you know that you're going to the beach, you're gonna jump out of that bed. Both are feel. You're feeling something, but one is pushing and the other one is pulling. Same result. Nothing about good energy or bad energy. It's just energy.
Okay. Okay. So like if I understand you correctly, it's kind of like um a, an outcome you desire compared to an outcome you desire to avoid. Is that kind of what you're saying? Is that the difference between pull and push?
Can you yourself give me an example of what you're saying?
Okay, so like an outcome I desire is I desire to have my kids do well in school, right? So I want to do things that'll help them do well in school. And I don't desire or I desire for my kids to not um uh, uh be injured. I desire them for not to break an arm. So I do things to try to keep them from breaking an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of what you're talking about? Like, there's these things that I desire to happen, and so that's like a pull energy. It's pulling me towards that. And then there's these things I want to not happen, and those are pushing me away from that. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I think the way you are um, displaying it probably will not make it clear enough so you can understand it. I will put it in more simple terms.
Sure.
You you are experiencing something, um, let's call it feel good or not feel good, feel bad. You don't want something to happen to another person because that is going to make you feel bad. So you're
Okay.
trying to find ways to avoid yourself feeling bad.
Okay.
Whatever you have around you in your life, please don't take me 100% because I'm myself are starting to understand this feel energy myself, and I try to get into complicated scenarios when you start taking that relationship with other people and try to understand the movement of energy. I'm talking about feeling. For example, you have someone in your life that when you get close to this person, do you feel like a bad energy? You feel bad, and how this energy, how this feel is moving in relationship to another person. I don't know if I'm being clear about what I'm talking about. When you start putting another person in this equation, it starts getting a little bit more complicated. That's when I talk
Sure.
about the God, like if God is another person. The information in the book about a God that is all loving, powerful, that creates a source of feel good, and you're going to move towards that information and trying to keep that information and that feel moving towards yourself as long as you're close to the information. That's when I tell someone, hey, I think your God is not real, they don't get offended because I'm offending the God. I'm i'm threatening their source of feel good, and they don't like how that feel. They feel something negative, and that's why they call me names. They start fighting
Sure.
back because they don't want nobody threatening what they found to be a source of feel good. Anything that has to do with a God, or anything has to do with relating with another human being or animal or thing or whatever, it always comes back to one thing: how you relate, if feeling wise, to whatever you're interacting with.
Okay. I think I see what you're saying.
I try my best to explain it. you're the
Yeah,
you're the
yeah.
you're the first person that really is asking me in-depth questions about it. Some other people that have called me before, they asked me superficially about it, but you're the first person that is really asking me like the in-depth questions.
Sure. So I know from my own experience that like sometimes people will ask me something and like I kind of have like a fuzzy understanding of where I stand on this or whatever.
Hmm.
And so like and I don't feel comfortable because I don't really haven't really thought through it. I just like I kind of have this gut feeling that this might be something. So if I ask you any questions and you're just like, hey, I don't haven't really thought through that exactly, feel free to tell me. I don't need to know everything. I like to understand how people think and what they believe and where they're coming from.
I think what you're
Um,
doing is great. Your questions are really, really interesting to me. And you know what? It puts to the test even my way of thinking, the way I see things, and the way I'm starting to understand things. It puts it to the test because I have never been to a point or a situation where I have to, or not have, where I explaining this about the feel and the fuel of life. Other than telling this information in my live streams, I have never explained this to a person, another human being, yet until now.
sure.
So I'm getting better at explaining this.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
Um,
questions.
yeah. So so and did this come directly out of that experience you had, or was it something else like you developed this over time?
I don't know why exactly. I always have this appetite uh, for trying to understand things, and sometimes they have got me in trouble um, because I always ask too many questions. I like to understand everything. Uh, but apart from that experience that was powerful, you can find the video. I think it's called The Holy Spirit or something like that. Um, Apart from that, I almost also died when I was studying for pilot. I thought I was gonna die. I had an incident in an airplane, which up to now I still have difficulties flying because of that. What happened, and I wanted to understand why I'm feeling the things that I'm feeling. So all these things that happened have led me up to now uh, to have this. I don't know if I call it access to this knowledge. I think one of the purpose of this channel and these videos is to tell people about this information and then exactly what you are doing. A, tell me more about it, see if it makes sense or this is all BS. But the way I see how the world is running right now, how the governments are running right now, this information that I'm sharing with you is proving to be absolutely accurate.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can
Everything that
can you
happening
explain
right
what
now
you
with the
mean by that?
government. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, you just said it, with the way the governments are running right now, that the information you have is proven to be exactly accurate. Can you give me an example of what you're talking about so I can kind of like map that on into current events?
Sure, I'll be happy to. I don't know if you heard people saying, "Hey, the government is trying to control us. The government is doing this. Now this guy is president, is doing everything the opposite that is supposed to be doing. He's committing treason. Now we're being trying to be quiet people from criticizing and so and so." And it happens on every single government. All
Mm,
the money wasting, the fraud, everything that is happening right now. Um, I was one of the people that used to say, yeah, 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 the government or the president or Obama or Biden or Trump or whatever. But through this understanding about feel and this knowledge that I have or have come up with, now I understand that the big problem that we have in government is not anything that I just mentioned. The big problem that we have in our countries and our governments is us, you and me. We are the source and the maintainers of these problems because
Mm.
of not understanding how we operate or the mechanics of human beings. That's why we put the blame or the responsibility outside of ourselves. We are so used to do that with God. God is going to fix us. He's outside of us. He's going to fix us. Jesus is outside of us. He's going to fix us. But behind the curtains, we're pulling all the strings with this government and whatever is happening is us, is ignorance. We are creating and maintaining this problem. By coming to that conclusion, putting this feel and this information together, that has allowed me to come to what I think is the most probable solution to a better way of governing a country. And one of these live streams that I'm going to make, I'm going to present this new way of how governments are going to be run. I know it's just a matter of time. Uh, so hang in there. You're going to see one live stream that I'm going to present how to run a government where it's going to be extremely difficult to blame someone else for your bad decisions, our bad decisions. It's going to be
Hmm.
really interesting. That
No.
I'm sorry, just to finish,
n-
that system that I'm going to present about for a new government uh, to lots of people that I know that are customers, because there are some of my customers are very important people that work in the government here locally. Some are smart people, engineers. I have presented the system, and the first thing they respond once I present this information is the same reaction. They laughed and they say nobody's going to accept that. But when I tell them how it's going to be implemented and what's going to be the result, they start asking questions like, man, but are you saying that this is going to be like that? Yes. So what I did a demo and I took it to the local government and I did a author's certificate to to grab the idea. And the person that took the information told me, man, you gotta be careful with this information because this is gonna put out of business a lot of bad people. I'm like, man, don't scare me. But this is gonna work. Yeah, when I present this, I'm actually I try to contact, you know who Bukele is, the president of San Salvador.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't know that, but
yeah, I try to contact him to present him with this idea, but it's extremely difficult because I think that him trying to do things good in his country probably will be one of the persons that probably will be interested in implementing this type of governments. But anyways, I hope I answer your question. Sometimes I extend myself too much.
no, that's fine. Um, I was going to ask. So no sneak previews of your system. You're going to put that in a whole video by itself.
Yes, I think I have come to the point. I wanted to do a demo and put it to work, but I don't have the resources, the time, and I think time is passing, and I think I would like to put that out there so someone picks it up. And before I take the information with me, I have done extensive research to see if there's something equal or similar to what I'm about to offer. There's nothing. And
Mm.
to all those people that told me it's not going to work for this, I'm like, man, please do me a big favor. Try to break it. Tell me why it's not going to work, and I'm going to answer the questions. And same thing happens at the end. Like, man, if you're able to implement that, man, that's going to change the country. That's going to change the world. I'm like, man, I don't try to to patronize me, but I think, yeah, it's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be way better to what we have. This representative government that we have is no longer works. We're gonna have something different that is really gonna work, and it's gonna
Huh.
make a lot of sense.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see you put that video together. Do you not have any idea when you're going to put it out?
Um, Not sure the date, but it will probably. I'm thinking about doing this in the next few weeks. Most likely. Every live stream that I do what I feel like doing. So I'm starting to feel that urge to talk about that. And I know the day is gonna come very soon that I'm gonna present that information, and hopefully people at least share with someone else, to try to start putting this system together, because it's gonna be from us humans, citizens of
Mm-hmm.
the countries, to implement this, because I don't think anybody that is doing fraud is gonna like this. It's really gonna ruin people's doing fraud businesses.
Sure. So you mentioned you've shown it to like some people in government and some engineers and stuff.
Yes.
Have you shown it to say economists?
Hmm.
And let's see who else would be a good because like economists they teach themselves like how economies work and they can like if you're talking about changing like a whole government system you're going to have to take the economy into account.
Hmm.
So I'm just curious if you've like checked with an economist to see if they've can poke holes in it. I think that would be a good thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I have not had the opportunity to speak specifically to a economist, and these talks that I have had with people are not being directly me going to them. It's mostly being,
Oh,
approaches like talking to someone. Hey, you're an engineer. Oh, let me, ask you about this. I try to take the opportunity to talk to a very smart person about it, and go through that first laugh about it until they start asking me questions, and we get to the end like, man, Javier, this is really interesting. I always like that part. I always tell them, man, break it, tell me why it's not going to work. Why? Because they're going to hack it. This is the way we're going to protect it. No, it's not going to work because you're going to have no way to implement it. Yeah, this is how we're going to implement it. Well, it's not going to work. Yeah, keep going, tell me why it's not going to work. So
sure.
yeah, but in regards to the economist, I think it's gonna improve because of the system. It's gonna improve the way of living way more, because it's gonna put a big, humongous obstacle to be able for a person to come up with businesses outside of the system, because the system is going to break it. The system is going to see it. The system is going to take it apart, because
Hmm.
we are the system, as human beings.
Hmm.
You'll hear about it. Trust me.
Sure.
I have come to the point that I'm like, you know what? I cannot, I'm not going to be able to do this by myself, and I don't want something to happen. Then the information is not going to go out there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've subscribed to you, so when you put that video out, I'll get notified and take a look at it. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for the subscription. Probably it's going to be called something about the new form of government, because I'm already thinking about the title of the live stream. And then I'm
Hmm.
going to have open mic. Some people can do the same thing, try to break it. And I'm going to tell and share why it's going to be extremely difficult to break it, to the way that you can break the actual government system and the actual voting system.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been a good talk. I think I'm going to mosey on out of here. But I enjoyed talking to you, and I
Thank
look
you.
forward to to seeing your video when it comes out.
Thank you very much for calling. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye. Awesome. Awesome. Man, I love having these conversations. This was a fruitful conversation. Very interesting. Gentleman. That was very good. Very smart. Very good questions. And that's what I love having this live stream. You can have conversations with really smart people, and I'm always willing to learn. But anyways, well, I got some messages I didn't even notice. Christianity is dehumanizing. Yeah, I know, but that's just like their opinion. Awesome. It's been 1 hour. I normally do live streams for 1 hour unless I'm having a conversation with someone, then I take it longer. If not, I'll cut it in 1 hour. I don't have the stamina to go over in 1 hour. But anyways, if you're watching this on the live stream, thank you for being here. If you're watching after it was recorded, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.